An economic boom in Japan in the 1980s and early 1990s led to some incredibly over-engineered cars. Automakers were all trying to stand out, which led to cars offering four-wheel steering, active aerodynamics, adaptive suspension, and more. From high-end supercars to diminutive-yet-fun K cars, here are the best and most coveted JDM cars. Toyota 2000 GT. Many of the vehicles on this list come from the same era, but the 2000 GT predates them all. Inspired by the Jaguar E-Type, the long hood and sharply raked rear window yield a quintessential sports car shape. Under that hood, an inline-six made about 150 horsepower in the slightly upsized engine. Those output figures are not much, but it was commendable for the time. The 2000 GT featured a double wishbone suspension and a limited slip differential, and it was the first Japanese car to use disc brakes on all four wheels. This car's legacy lives in the styling of both the Mk4 Supra and the current Mk.V Supra. Toyota Celica GT4 All-Track Turbo. If you played the video game Gran Turismo, you knew about the Toyota Celica GT4, produced in 3 generations in the 1980s and 1990s. The third generation was featured in the game, bathed in Castrol Racing livery. In real life, the GT4 competed in the Group A class of the World Rally Championship, WRC. It was the first Japanese all-wheel drive turbocharged car to win a WRC title. Speaking of Gran Turismo cars, honorable mention to the Mitsubishi FTO. The handsome coupe slotted size-wise between the Eclipse and 3000 GT and was oozing with Italian-inspired style. Another honorable mention goes to the Subaru Impreza 22B, which also competed in Group A. Honda S2000. Many of the cars on this list are performance trims of a model, or they are special homologation cars to allow their on-track counterparts to go racing. The S2000 was designed as a sports car from the start, plain and simple. In fact, it's an incredibly pure expression of motoring enjoyment, down to the minimalist cabin that hid the radio behind a fold-down panel. The name comes from its 2000cc, 2.0-liter, 4-cylinder engine, producing up to 240 horsepower in Japan's home market. The CR featured a number of performance upgrades, including revised aerodynamic lower wings, rear spoilers, and a reduction in weight by removing certain features. It also featured a green light in the dash when the engine was making peak power. Mitsubishi 3000 GT/GTO. As we mentioned, 1990s JDM cars were feats of automotive over-engineering. The 3000 GT, or GTO as it was known in Japan, featured dual-mode exhaust and active aerodynamic components. Both are more common among performance vehicles today but were cutting edge at the time. The range-topping VR4 featured a twin turbocharged V6 rated at 300 horsepower and 308 pound-feet of torque. It routed power from a 6-speed manual transmission to an all-wheel drive. The FTO justified its heft, 3,700 pounds, with innovations such as four-wheel steering and adaptive suspension. Toyota Land Cruiser. The Toyota Land Cruiser is the ultimate JDM four-wheel drive SUV. As far back as the 1960s, Toyota was producing more comfort-minded FJ models, dubbed Land Cruiser. Through the 1990s, the Land Cruiser truly evolved into a luxury SUV. Today, it is the most expensive Toyota vehicle, with a starting price of nearly $86,000. The Land Cruiser has had inline-6 and V6 engines in the past. Today, it comes exclusively with V8 power, as well as standard four-wheel drive, a locking differential, and Toyota's kinetic dynamic suspension system. It's not only one of the most capable SUVs on the market, but it's also incredibly comfortable and upscale as well. Autosam Az1. K cars are the smallest class of JDM vehicles. Designed to comply with size restrictions to meet insurance regulations, K cars range from vans to trucks and even sports cars, like the Az1. Produced for Autosam by Mazda, the Az1 stood out by mirroring the look of a Ferrari Testarossa in miniature form. It also incorporated gull-wing doors, which are typically associated with high-end supercars. Like those supercars, the Az1 had a mid-engine layout. It boasted a 675cc inline 3-cylinder engine that made just 63 horsepower. A 5-speed manual transmission routed power to the rear wheels. It might take 10 seconds to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour, but it was a pleasure to drive through turns. If you enjoyed this video, kindly press the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on, so that you don't miss out on videos like this. Thank you for watching.